Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. As we get to the end of 2022 and we just have a few short days left, a little over a week in the year, there may be some of us who look back on this past year and are just exhausted, who just look back on this year and it's been a tough year. Maybe we've had to deal with different struggles and trials and hardships, maybe major life changes, just temptations and trials that just weighed us down. Maybe we experienced failure and things like that. And we just look back on the year and just say, it's been a rough year, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. Well, as we get into the book of Zechariah, hopefully we will find some encouragement there, because the book of Zechariah was written to people who were also very much exhausted and had dealt with difficulty for a very long time. It's written to the exiles who had returned back to Judah, back to Jerusalem, who had been in exile, in Babylonian exile, for 70 years. Some of them had never known the homeland, had grown up in exile, and then they are excited perhaps about going back to Jerusalem, back to Judah, thinking, yeah, this is when it's going to happen, we'll be restored. And then they get there and there's nothing but hardships and trials and difficulties, and they're trying to rebuild the temple and that's not working out. And it's just a very hard time for them. And perhaps they're wondering, what is God's plan in all of this? As perhaps maybe some of us are wondering that as well. What is God's plan in all the chaos, and all the confusion and all the difficulty? Well, the book of Zechariah is very encouraging. True, there are some words of correction there, but for the most part, the characteristic of the book is that of encouragement, because the book is very much about how God one day will restore Jerusalem, that they will become an imposing force in the world once again, how God's going to deal with the enemies that were at rest, at peace at the moment, and that God was going to step forward and work for his people, which should be encouraging to us as we look ahead to a new year, to think, maybe this year has been tough, but we do serve a God who restores, a God who renews, a God who rebuilds. And that's what we get from the book of Zechariah. And of course, as we move forward in the book of Revelation, we're also going to see that God is one who's making all things new. As we get to the end of the book, we'll see that be the case. And we are a God who restores, who renews, and who rebuilds. And as we read the book of Zechariah, let's be encouraged to know that we have a God who has a heart for that. And when we're encouraged by the fact that we have a God who has a heart for that, we can go to prayer to God, that he would act according to that spirit and according to that heart, and that he would restore us and rebuild us and renew us in this upcoming year. And that we once again will be able to walk sure-footed in this world and to reestablish ourselves spiritually, emotionally, and physically. And to be encouraged to know that if we keep our eyes fixed on him, he has good things prepared for us. And so as we get into the book of Zechariah, let's be encouraged by that. And let's go to the book of Zechariah with that in our minds and in our hearts, and to be looking at these things, not just from the historical standpoint of what happened with Jerusalem, but how this shows us the character of God, the heart of God, and how that affects us in our own lives. So here's some things we can reflect on and think about as we do our reading today. With that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.